Third down and 20.
First topic I want to talk about is Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers. Should Ben Roethlisberger come back and be the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers for the 2021-2022 season, or should they look to find an alternative option? And as the Steelers fan, I am going to take this one first. I currently believe that if I were the Steelers, I would entertain Ben Roethlisberger coming back for another season. And I understand that might be a little bit controversial, at least according to Steelers fans. I think he just gives us the best chance to win. I think that, when you look at the season last year for the Steelers, this was an offense that had so many problems, yet won a lot of games. Now, not saying that the Steelers' offense won them the game. Obviously, the Steelers have one of the better defenses in the league, probably a top 5 defense in the NFL. It's just, I don't really know how fans are so quick to replace Roethlisberger, especially with some of the games that he had at the end of the season. Just, that Colts game is one that really comes to mind, and how many other quarterbacks can you put in charge of the Steelers at that point in time, and they will come back and win that football game against one of the league's top defenses at the time and over the course of all of last season without being able to run the ball at all? And that happened time and time and time again over the season, where against even the Broncos, a game where the offense struggled. I think that was more of a factor of the run game. Steelers' run game last year was last in the NFL, almost a full 10 yards behind the Texans, but who were 31. We weren't just last, we were dead last by a good margin. Tied for 28th or 29th in touchdowns, had the lowest yards per carry. The Steelers averaged 3.6 yards per carry. Trent Richardson, who the Steelers fans love to make fun of, averaged 3.6 yards per carry for the Browns. And everyone's coming out and saying, oh, Ben Roethlisberger sucks. He's the problem. I don't think he's great, but how are we so quick to replace him? Even who better are we going to get at quarterback? The only player that I would be very okay with the Steelers replacing Ben Roethlisberger with to start next season is Mac Jones. It's Mac Jones. Me and you, Steed, we've been on Mac Jones for a while, saying that, there's this, for some reason, perceived top 4 with Mac Jones as the de facto 5, where we were saying for most of the offseason on the podcast, Mac Jones, he should not be the de facto 5. We personally think he's better than some of those quarterbacks in that perceived top 4, and think that that's going to show on draft day. So I don't even think the Steelers are going to be able to get Mac Jones come draft day if other teams are thinking the same way we are. So all in all, I believe that Ben Roethlisberger was not the problem of the Steelers' offense last year. I still think that Ben has some left in the tank, and if this is a team that wants to legitimately try and win games and actually go for the big dance at the end of the season, the best chance of us doing that is with Ben Roethlisberger at the quarterback position, not Mason Rudolph, not a free agent, and for the most part, no drafted quarterback will put us there, and I don't even think the ones that would put us there we can realistically get.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on that. I think the whole problem in your offense, and you touched on it, is the running game, and it goes hand in hand with the offense and the passing game. And when you're asking Big Ben, a guy who's getting up there in age, yeah, he can go back there and chunk it 50 times a game, but you kind of want to make his job easier in that, just having a sustainable running game that he can rely on. And we know how bad that Texas running game is, and they're even worse than that. That needs to be addressed. And especially for an aging quarterback like Big Ben, he needs help, He needs a little bit of help. This isn't young prime Big Ben who can really just, and now you see it like you saw in the Colts game, he can clearly he's capable of still doing those things. But to make his job easier, you need more of a running game, and I think that needs to be more addressed. But I like your point. If I'm looking at the Steelers, I don't see any other quarterback out there that we would be able to get that would give us a better chance than Big Ben. Definitely not Mason Rudolph. I think he blows. If you were able to get Mac Jones somehow in like some crazy fantasy world, that would be awesome. But still, rookie coming into a great situation, I still think Big Ben, just knowing the division, knowing the league, gives you the better chance. And I wouldn't be ready to move on from him yet. Now, I would know that day is coming sooner than later. But for next season, just complete next season, I mean, we saw him go 11-0, undefeated, and have a tremendous season. And yeah, get knocked out of the first round, but you had some injuries on the defense that, hurt you, and then you had the terrible running game. And that's a problem. So I agree with you. I'd give Big Ben another shot, maybe how long he wants to play, but I think quarterback in foreseeable future is definitely a need, of course.
Yeah, it's definitely a need. It's just...
it's not that you're going to fix it out this season. Like, who are you going to get? You're going to trade for Sam Darnold? Okay, you think Sam Darnold's going to do anything?
That's exactly my point. Like, who are we going to get, on top of the fact that I really don't even think that Ben Roethlisberger was the problem of the offense. You had an offensive line, probably the worst offensive line play I've seen from the Steelers in a long time. You have a receiving group that I'm pretty sure led the league, and if not, they were top 3 in drops. Combined with the fact that the receiver group in general is extremely young. And
I saw
you have
Deontay drop a lot.
Yeah. Ebron, Mr. I drop balls Ebron as your tight end. A run game that was just so trash, which is due to the offensive line mostly. It's just, if I'm the Steelers, like, going all in to get a quarterback this offseason, I wouldn't be able to do it. I need to replace the talent that we were losing on offense. We need 2 tackles. I see these people saying, oh, you can put Chuck Okorafor at right tackle. I'm not sure if they were watching the same games I were, because that was atrocious. Chuck's at right tackle. Zach Banner was injured, and apparently the staff really likes him, and I think he's a good player, but, to act like we can rely on him as a starting left tackle day one, I think is a little bit premature. Regardless, you still need another tackle. We need a center, because Pouncey's going to be gone. He was playing like crap last season, and now you need a running back. So there's just so many holes, and seeing the fact that Ben did carry some of the games last year,
yeah,
I'll take him back. I don't really care. He said he's down to rework the contract. I'm a little shocked at the league and Steelers fans especially just so quick to give up on Ben Roethlisberger, completely forgetting the body of work that he did last year in some of those games. I think that they're just so blinded by the fact that we lost the Browns in the first round of the playoffs, and just completely forget about some of the great moments that Ben had during last season, and the fact that every other position group, most of the games, I think aside from the Bengals game, and even then, I think the Bengals game, the tackles played worse than Roethlisberger did. I don't understand how maybe he's just the easy scapegoat. You look at an offense that struggles at the end of the season, and you say, oh, it has to be the quarterback.
Yeah, that's what everybody does. I was about to say, it's easy to blame the quarterback, and that's the thing about the position. It's great when you're winning, but when you're losing, you're going to get all the hate in the world. But yeah, maybe there's a lot of holes to fill in the offense, but maybe if Trask is available, like somewhere where they feel like it's a good value pick, you take a chance on Trask where he sits and maybe learn. And it's just it's a shot in the dark. Maybe he can play. I think Trask is better than Rudolph. I'd rather have Trask in than Rudolph. It's interesting, but it's different routes. You can wait next year, see the cream of the crop, or try to get somebody through a trade. I'm not too sure, but for the foreseeable future, for next year, I definitely think Big Ben should just play it out. I mean, no reason for him not to come back.
Yeah, I agree that that if I'm Kevin Colbert, the Steelers general manager, I'm probably looking to see if I can get a project quarterback, like you said, Kyle Trask, maybe a Kellen Mond, a guy who
Yeah.
he's got the arm talent but has a whole lot of other problems in his game. Um, I mean, there's plenty of other quarterbacks. Maybe I don't really think you'd want to go with a late round Ian Book kind of guy. I'm just not really high on some of those quarterbacks. I think that just feels like a little bit of a waste of a pick. Like, how
Yeah.
is he even an upgrade over Mason Rudolph? But to act like we should go into the season with Mason Rudolph or a free agent or a Sam Darnold, I heavily disagree with. I don't mind taking a quarterback in the draft, but I don't know. I think that Ben should start the season, and that the problem with the offense was not a large part in the quarterback position, and it's a lot on the tackles and the center.